Larry, we are down the peninsula from San Francisco as you get a look inside modern Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. First carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Calling a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. And a lot of the weight of this offense falls on the shoulders of the running back.
That's because the offense knows if they give him any openings, any opportunities, he can turn it into a big play at any time.
And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on second down. From the shotgun, Osweiler. And he's got his man in stride, complete. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
Good, strong, explosive run that started inside, which means you've got to control those defensive linemen, the defensive tackles, the nose guards. Those guys have to be controlled. How about the offensive line, the job they just did?
Yeah, key that A-gap usually on those runs, right?
That's where it all starts because everyone wants to kind of control that area. It disrupts things from the defensive side and the offensive side. As we just saw, it opens up possibilities.
No gain on the play there, second down. And a look now at the defensive starters for San Francisco.
Eric Armstead was a big-time high school basketball player turned into college football All-American. Now they're counting on him in the NFL to fulfill his promise.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Call it a gain of 5, and that's going to bring up a third down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area. But they want him involved, just as you said. They want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be fourth down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. And Lutz puts this one through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. 7 yards there on the first down screen play.
All right, I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Back to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. And a look at the offense that is hoping to put some points up in bunches here in this one. back to throw here. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Fresh set of downs here. They'll throw on 1st down with Osweiler. And his throw is incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Osweiler. And he comes back with one complete. And he's brought down. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. 1st down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Now, coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end. Let him get some rack.
Yeah, but when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they? Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. It'll be a gain of 3, and it also takes us to the end of the 1st quarter play. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. The gun, it's Osweiler. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's brought down after a good game. They practiced this all week. Pretty clear it paid off there. Threw it downfield, made it look relatively easy.
And it always comes a little bit easier when you've practiced it and tuned things up and you're confident in what you're doing now. They felt very, very good about their plan, and we saw the execution because the confidence of the players was there.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Now they go screen. It's complete. It'll be a pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Time running out here on the play clock. And they're not going to get the snap off. This might back him out of field goal range. Here's Bradley Pinion now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. They'll run it here with Bernard, and he'll power his way up near the 25. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
On 2nd down, Osweiler. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back.
All right, now, look at 56.
Now Osweiler on 1st down. Looking deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 30. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 42 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And now a 1st down following that long gain. Throwing now, Osweiler on 1st down. And the grab made by the tight end Pruitt. And they do get him down, but not before he reaches the 4-yard line.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back.
Yep.
He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. To throw again is Osweiler. Steps away to his left. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. So the flag is for the very rare illegal forward pass penalty.
Not often that a quarterback forgets where the line of scrimmage is. They have an innate sense about it. On this play, the quarterback did.
Watch it now, Barney, Barney. Here we go now. Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Again, Osweiler. Looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. Out of of the gun. They'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone. And now out comes Minnesota. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I was
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
He drops it off for Bernard. And he loses the football a second time. And this will get out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Now, I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well. Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. An encroachment penalty here, maybe just a mental lapse, partner.
Sometimes you have to just watch the football. Make sure it's snapped before you're jumping.
It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal.
Here we go now. 39.
On the sneak, and he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Brock Osweiler, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. Oh, he shifts past him. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now out comes Minnesota. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now Osweiler on 2nd down. Over the middle, he's got Treadwell. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll throw on 1st down with Osweiler. It's caught inside the 25. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory. A big play there just before halftime. 47 yards. Shift together here from the D-line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll run here with Bernard. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. So put 3 on the board, but from inside the 5. And I know we use this phrase a lot, but that's a big-time win for the defense.
It sure is. You've got the short field behind you, so you can afford to turn up the pressure. And that was a nice sequence there to keep them out of the end zone.
Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
They'll throw now on the final play. And this one's incomplete. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or do they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. They'll look to throw. Caught. It's high. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
2nd and 5. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
1 receiver left, 2 to the right. They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Hard throw, incomplete. Kristen Michael was the intended receiver, and that brings up 4th down. The 49ers are going to turn over to the special teams crew. The field goal unit is out there now. There'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is right down the middle. And they will indeed get on the board here, but still trailing. It's now 13-3. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. On 1st and 10, it's Osweiler. Strong grabs it over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
He's got some space. Now Bernard. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Now it's Osweiler. He's going to let this one wide open, complete. Touchdown. touchdown, Vikings. J.J. Nelson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Now another shot here at the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken at the 3. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And the offense moving quickly to the line. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Surveying the field. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
He's got time in the pocket. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. And they're going to speed things up here. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a...
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers get a score closer. So he scrambled right, but was able to look back toward the middle of the end zone to find the target.
As you know, in this game, sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules because we all know most guys throwing the football are taught never throw back into the middle of the field on a scramble. He did it and got away with it for a touchdown.
Instinct sometimes, right? They just take over.
Instinct and vision. Sometimes you just see people who are open, you're able to get it to them.
And now out comes Minnesota. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. On 2nd down, here's Osweiler. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, and en route, going into a little bit of traffic, maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
They'll throw on 1st down with Osweiler. And an alley to run. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards on the pickup. And that leads to a Minnesota 1st down. Throwing now, Osweiler on 1st down. Flush to his right. Gets it to Strong. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And fortunately, he's able to get this one back, so it is a 1st down. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. A near turnover, but the offense recovers it. Now they'll try to regroup on 2nd. They'll run again with Bernard. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
Let's go. 3-19.
Osweiler. And the grab made by the tight end Pruitt. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Michael Pruitt, the big tight end, is intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short.
That was a good play, an incompletion that feels like a disappointment. The ball was tipped in the air, a chance for an interception, and you can just feel the home crowd coming together thinking, this is the big play we've been looking for. And when it falls to the ground, a little bit of disappointment, even though it was a good play.
Calling no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is. A lot of times, Charles, when you see guys miss easy ones like this, you can attribute a lot of that to the sharp angle.
You sure can. You've got to shift your aim a little left or right. And here, he just kicks this one straight on, and it doesn't have enough cut to it, so it winds up off the upright.
Escaping, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Everson Griffin in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Watching that, Barney.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
Oh, boy, he got a favorable spot there. The guys on the sidelines were raising their hands over their head and clasping their hands to signal safety. But the official marked it just outside the end zone at the 1-yard line.
He's got his man on the crossing route. 14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Let's go.
So the D-line's going to spread out. He'll drop to throw. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And now the football's going to go over, already being placed at the 15-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Again, here's Bernard. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now Osweiler on 2nd down. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of pop or a shove.
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. J.J. Nelson with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice...
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Ian Williams with a tackle.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Now Osweiler. In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
An extra DB for the 49ers now on third. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe.